How's it going, everybody? My name is Jungle Jordan. We are here at Northwest Trek. We have a special tour ahead of us. I'm super excited to be here. Let's go.
But we're coming up on our bison herd here. All right, so here's the game of spot the bull.
Okay.
Where is the male of the group?
Facing away from us over there.
Yeah, right there in the
Straight,
middle.
yeah.
Kind of in between these two groups. Absolutely. So all these others are our females or cows. And again, the size, that hair pattern, the different shaped horns, that's all good clues. The downside of horns, that if something happens to them, you kind of just have to live with that.
That's it.
But the downside of antlers is that there's a lot of energy invested in those antlers each year. But if something does happen to them, that's okay. You'll just try again the next year.
Everyone always asks me, out of the places that I've worked, what's my favorite? It's hard to do that because everywhere's different. But Northwest Trek was always the most unique experience, and it's just a very beautiful place because you're in the middle of a forest, right? And just surrounded by all these animals. And it was a place where I got to learn basically most of my zookeeping skills because it was a smaller staff, so I got to be a lot more hands-on with every individual thing. And seeing animals like the bison, and coming up here, the bighorn sheep.
The males, the rams, will grow those big spines. I think the Dodge Ram truck emblem, and that's because they use them for that ramming display. So in order to not shatter their spines, their neck muscles and tendons are reinforced, and their brain sits on a fluid layer so they don't get concussed. So a lot of really amazing adaptations.
Have you seen the? I think it's a TikTok. It's a TikTok about this guy like. He's mimicking a voice of Dodge Ram truck drivers.
Oh, yeah.
This is my Dodge Ram truck. I have lifted suspension and small and LED headlights blinding everyone in front of me. Sorry. Are these Roosevelt elk?
These are Roosevelt elk. Yes, absolutely.
And they're a lot bigger than like the Rocky Mountain elk, right?
Yeah, not necessarily a lot, but they are the largest of the elk species for sure.
Because and that's the other thing people don't really realize, that they're like basically a species of deer, right?
Yeah, so they're all members of the Cervidae family, cervids, which is the deer family. So deer, elk, moose, caribou, they're all part of Cervidae.
Right. I love watching them go through as we're like kind of off-roading right now, and like seeing them walk off in the distance again with the tall grass, and they move so effortlessly through there and just so graciously. I absolutely love that. Like, look at those guys.
So typically their moms will go and give birth way back in the woods by themselves, away from the herd. Same thing with deer, but deer are less of a herd animal. Their moms will hide the baby after they're born in the way back in the vegetation for the first week or two until it's strong. And those babies have that natural camouflage, those white spots. They're born with no scent, so they don't attract predators. So they're really built to be hidden and tucked away in the woods. And then once they're old enough and strong enough to be able to come and join the herd, the mom will hide it, come back and check on it through the day, but it will instinctually stay very still. So a lot of people get into trouble because they find a baby deer by itself and they say, look, it's not running away, it can't even walk, it's been abandoned. Very well-intentioned people, but I started my career as a wildlife rehab, working in a wildlife rehab center. So we got a lot of people that would bring in deer, fawns, and elk calves to us, being well-intentioned, but now you've caused that animal to abandon its baby. It's not that it smells like humans or anything. That's kind of an urban legend. It's that if you move that baby and the mom comes back to where the baby was and says, my baby's not here, I know it wouldn't move, a predator must have gotten it.
Yeah.
Better luck next year.
Right.
So let wildlife be wild. That's always my advice.
Better luck next year.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not funny.
Yeah, it's a grim way, but that's how they work, right? And we tend to put our human attachments onto things. But a lot of animals have less investment in their babies, right? They're still teaching them and raising them, but it is a kind of a
you have to keep going.
It's a tough world.
You have to make sure your species continues on. You have to make sure, because like you said, oh well, guess that's it. Time to make some more. Gotta keep going.
This is a little bit even more coarse.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
this is some of that kind of outer layer called fiber that they shed off in the winter. So a little bit different. You can kind of see a slight color difference, but these animals are built to keep lots of warmth in, versus animals like caribou and moose have a little bit more coarse hairs, because a lot of their hair is are what they call hollow hairs, so there's an air chamber in the middle, and that allows them to be extra buoyant. So caribou and moose are both animals that are really well adapted to moving through snow and water and swimming. So they can swim long distances. When a caribou swims, though, 1/3 of its body is above the water because they're so buoyant. Wow. And a moose can dive up to 20 feet deep to eat aquatic vegetation. I mean, they're really incredible athletes, but you can see that difference in how they're adapted in a hair-by-hair basis. So, very cool. I stopped here not just to go on my soapbox, but because this is a good example of just how big these antlers can get. So I'm 6 feet tall, this is like 4 feet of antler. And this is the right antler of an elk bull, right? It would go on their head like that. It works for them, it doesn't really work for me. Oh, geez. You can pass it around in there, you can feel just how heavy. So some of these big boys could be carrying up 20, 25 pounds of antlers on their head.
Boy. Yeah, it's got some good weight to it.
So I told you the Trek Fit program. We get
this is it right here. You know, I just do some curls and I'm good to go. This is not small by any means. Here.
No, it's a bone, right? I mean, it's a bone material. So it's like us growing and dropping our legs every year. And we say they grow and drop them every year. They're realistically doing all of that growing in about 7 months, most of it in the first 5 months. So the boys we've been seeing, they've only been growing their antlers for about 5 months. They won't be growing their antlers past the end of the summer when they shed that velvet. That's sending blood and nutrients into those antlers.
There you go. I was just about to bring that up, right? With the velvet, it carries all the blood vessels and everything, and people don't really realize that this is being, it's getting nutrition and growth, from the blood flow going through. And, people don't really realize that. I like how they kind of just, in theory, just pop off.
Yeah, I've seen one drop one time. It was amazing.
Out of all the hoofstock that I've worked with that have antlers, I have not seen one just, oh, okay, it's time.
I saw one drop off right over there on the ridge. We came up in the morning, he had both, and then we came up in the afternoon, he had dropped one, and he stood up, looked at us, and went to step over a log, just popped off. Just incredible. And generally, the older they are, the sooner in relation to dropping their antlers they'll drop. Right. Most of the time, they drop within a day or two. Our herd bull this year, he dropped his antlers about 15 feet apart in one of those meadows. So they obviously popped off real quick. I've seen a little deer with like 1 year's first growth hold on to one antler for like 3 weeks though, because they're just not in the same intense hormone swing. There's not as much weight to pull them off.
Right.
And actually, one of my favorite things about antlers is you can see all these grooves, and that's not just fun texture. That's where those veins were underneath the velvet. So you can see all that little texture as you follow the tracks up.
Well, these little lines there, it goes all the way up.
And twist and spar. It's a lot of energy to fight. These animals don't want to fight to the death. If you're two bulls fighting mano a mano to the death, right? The girls have just walked away, and someone else is stealing your girlfriends recently during the time. So it's not the most efficient use of their time. Most of the time, they use their voices, and then they'll do brief sparring sessions. They'll run each other. It's a pretty crazy breeding season, but that will last through the fall. And at the end of the fall, at the end of the winter, mid-February, early March, they'll drop those previous year's antlers.
So speaking of voices, don't go way too far. Speaking of voices, they talk a lot, right? Mm-hmm. With bugling.
Yeah.
Now, can we have you do your best bugle impression on camera?
Oh man.
Try now, Skylar.
Oh,
I know you can do it.
It's very difficult.
I know you can do
it's very difficult, and I'm not going to do it justice. It is this high keening sound. I always end up sounding like a moose when I do it, but it's like.
That's pretty good.
It's not
pretty good.
It's not at all.
It's pretty good.
So it's much higher than my vocal range
really,
typically goes.
It's high.
This high keening call. I always end up sounding like a moose, because moose to me sound like you're saying moose, really high pitched.
Right.
Moose.
Yeah. Actually, what you
really
sound
soft
like.
vocalizing.
So we were talking about Jurassic Park earlier. You sound like when Dr. Alan Grant was in the tree making the Brachiosaurus call.
Yeah.
You sound just like him when he was doing that. Yeah. Hi, little face. See, deer have just the sweetest. Personally, they just have one of the most calm dispositions.
Yeah.
They just seem like a very naturally calm animal, and like they kind of symbolize tranquility and peace.
Interesting, we had to build something. We knew we wanted something that only Aspen could really reach her head into, those long legs, long head and neck of the moose. So this is version 1.0. I built that a few years ago. Oh, okay. And then we built version 2.0, complete with a lower deer tub feeder. We're getting a little fancier each time, but yeah.
Like, that's what I was saying about Northwest Trek. When my time here, I feel like it gave me such unique experience that I had to develop skills that I probably wouldn't have if I went to like a much larger zoo or facility with like an expansive team. They had a team for everything. They had a exhibits design team. They had a maintenance team. They had all these different teams that would build stuff for us. Like, we're here, you built that.
Yeah,
so
totally.
I love that. I love that a lot. I have this old VHS home video of me here in 1993 or 93. Little Jordan on the tram tour. You just hear my annoying little voice talking to my mom and my grandma, and it was raining, and we saw the mountain goats, the bison, the elk, and it's just the bighorn sheep, and it just kind of just makes me reminisce about coming through here every time I come through here.
Yeah, fun to come full circle.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
You would take those home videos. You won't see much of me on those videos because I would rewatch the videos just so I could see the animals. So I would just rewind, and just destroy that tape.
On questions you didn't get a chance to ask, questions about Trek, about being a zookeeper, about me as a person, let me know. Yeah, so this is the wild drive. So in lieu of the tram tours, this is how guests are able to experience the free roaming area right now. So you have a pilot car and a follow car. They're broadcasting information over the radio. These are really awesome tours. They go about 45 minutes. You get to see a lot of free roaming, get to see a lot of the animals, get a lot of really great information. And it's been a really nice way for us to be able to get guests out into this area. We were one of the first things to open up after the quarantine period. And we wanted a way for people to stay in their own bubble and to get out. So I'm really proud of Trek and the flexibility that we show, the creativity here. And we'll probably continue to offer these in some way, shape, or form moving forward. It's been really great to allow people, with mobility issues, people with sensory needs, to kind of stay in their bubble and still get out in this area, whereas the trams could be overwhelming for some people or a limiting factor. So.
Awesome, we made it.
Success. Go, be free, I release you.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Skylar, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was an awesome tour. I had so much fun out there. You really know your stuff. I had so much fun here. Hopefully I can come back soon. I just wanted to ask you real quick before I go, what is it like for you working here at Northwest Trek?
Yeah, it's been really amazing. This is one of the first zoo, work experience I've had. I out of college, I thought I was going to be doing a lot of field work. I ended up working at a wildlife rehab center. Kind of realized I wanted to work more closely with the animals, and I grew up in Eatonville here locally, so I ended up doing internship and then bothered them for about a year until they hired me, and then I've been working here for about 3 years. So it's been really wonderful. It's a great place. The smaller facilities, there's benefits and there's trade-offs, but as a smaller facility, I get to have a lot more experiences that a similar position at another facility, a large facility, wouldn't.
Right.
And I get to work very close to our veterinary department, but it's been amazing. I mean, it's a very unique facility.
I agree.
And I think I appreciate that more and more as I'm out here.
Awesome.
I think especially in a position where I get to educate other people and I get to kind of share that passion with them, it makes me appreciate it every day. So.
Right. Well, thank you so much. That was super awesome. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
All right, you guys, so that was a fun Keeper Adventure tour here at Northwest Trek. I had so much fun. What was your favorite part of the tour? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you want to visit here, Northwest Trek Wildlife Park is here in Eatonville, Washington. Check out their website, link below. So next time, it's your boy Jungle Jordan. I'm out.